Hello everyone and welcome to the one that almost broke me. Y'all, I rode the struggle bus all the way through this video, but I think I got off on the right stop with a really pretty mandala. The first thing I did was give this 6-inch canvas 2 coats of black paint, and then I let it sit no less than 3 days. I got out my sketchbook and I grabbed that design creation sheet we made a couple of tutorials ago. There were 4 shapes in there I really liked, and I want to try to fit them into a mandala. So I got out one of my mandala brainstorms. I asked my good friend Kathleen to get me started with some colors, and boy did she. You guys, I put it all in this mandala brainstorm and planned out a rough draft of what I want to do. The only thing left is to make it come to life. Let's do it. In order to get all of this on that 6-inch canvas, I need to get out my 5.5 DIY stencil and get some guidelines on this canvas. If you don't have one of these stencils, you can download it today from my Etsy shop. You guys, I'm going to put everything I use in this video down in the description. There'll be a whole section for the supplies I used, complete with links that you can click that'll get you to Amazon or to my Etsy page or wherever I bought them from. Once you have your DIY stencil, you'll just follow the instructions there and you'll get these guidelines on your canvas. I got a whole video on how to use this, how to make this, and extra design ideas for it. All of those are down in the description in a playlist called Mandala Brainstorms. I also have a playlist called Getting Started that'll go a little more in depth on some of these beginning things. All you gotta do is check out those videos if you have any questions. If you don't find what you're looking for, leave me a comment. I'm just going to sketch out the first design that I wanted to use, a little bit different, but I'm going to sketch it out in the middle and then we'll get to painting. When I reached for that copper paint that Kathleen suggested, y'all, I couldn't believe I didn't have Deco Arts copper, but I did have Folk Arts metallic copper. Now, full disclaimer, y'all, this paint is every bit of 5 years old. So when I got to the fine line part, I added 7 drops of that Flow Aid additive. Honestly, just because it was old and I was just hoping it would help because this is a very weird and runny texture. I ordered this camel colored paint just for this project. You guys, I forgot how thick these paints were, so I added 6 drops of that slow dry fluid additive to thin it. But I used this one because I also thought it being a light color, what if it cracked? And this supposedly prevents that, so that's what I used. I'm using this Worn Penny color straight out of the bottle. I didn't add anything to it. I'm going to be using my fine line brush to pull out some really pretty teardrops. This is the second shape out of that creation sheet we did that I'm using in this mandala. Now on that creation sheet, I have like this ring going around the end of this teardrop. I want to draw it first, but I'm scared I'm going to get in that paint. So I'm going to let it dry real quick and then get to it. Now, if you're intimidated by using that fine line brush and doing all of these doodles, let me take a minute to recommend that you guys get some dazzling metallics from Deco Art. You guys, these are the perfect paint consistency right out of the bottle. As they age, I may add a little bit of that Flow Aid additive, but for the most part, these paints are perfect. My point is, maybe your only problem is your paint consistency. So if you haven't tried the dazzling metallics, try that to rule out paint consistency. And just remember, all you need to do is a whole bunch of practice. That's all I ever did, was just sit down with my fine line brush and I began writing words on my kindness rocks. Eventually I got a little better and a little better and a little better, and I just know someday I'm going to be like the bomb. But for now, I'm doing pretty good at it, and you can too. I can see that one of my little doodles up here is a little bit close to that center dot compared to the other 4, so I'm going to black it out and come back and fix that in just a minute. All right, now I'm going to add that 4th design from our creation sheet. I'm so excited about this one because I just love these great big teardrops, and I'm having so much fun dragging them out with my fine line brush. I don't know, I find it very relaxing and therapeutic to do. So let's get this 4th design on here, and then I'm just going to fill in all the spaces. I'm going to take the design from the middle and I'm going to continue those doodles out. You're welcome to draw them before you paint them, or you can just paint them if you're confident. I'm going to pretend I'm confident. I know if I believe it, it'll come true. eyeballing all of those little lines I made in the middle, and they just look off to me. So I'm gonna add some lines around the outside and see if I can't somehow bring that center to the outside and make it all look like it goes together. Well, that really didn't do it, so let's try adding some more lines in the middle. Okay, that still didn't do it, and it was about here that I started getting really carried away. Y'all, I was having so much fun doing these little lines. Oh my gosh, I just kept going around and around and around, trying to make little lines as if they were almost like the guidelines, but little tiny guidelines all the way around. I wasn't trying to be perfect. I wasn't trying to be symmetrical. I was just flinging that fine line brush and having a ball. And of course, I got way too carried away. Oh my God, y'all, I keep going and going and going. I keep looking at it and thinking, oh, just a few more and just a few more. And I mean, I am just listening to my music and I am having so much fun. I just couldn't stop. I say YOLO, let's do the whole thing. Do you guys ever see those real big fancy paintings where it just looks like people are just throwing random lines up there just all willy-nilly and you're like, oh my gosh, it looks so cool. What in the world? How does that work? That is exactly what I feel like right now. I feel like, look at me making these lines all crazy and I'm making art. I love it. I say no matter how it turns out, I feel like an artist right now and it's so worth it, you guys. But you can totally tell I went way too far. So now I have the challenge of how do I tone this down? It's time to get out that black. I keep looking at those great big green dots thinking, gosh, they're just standing out like a sore thumb. So I'm trying really hard to maybe add some little green dots around, but just nothing I do is working. So I'm thinking top dots. Oh, y'all, this is crazy. I am just struggling trying to figure out how to tone down all of these lines. It seems like I lost those 4 basic shapes that we made in the beginning, and I really want to see them. So the only thing I can think to do is to get my fine line brush back out and to outline them all in black and give them a little more definition, and maybe, just maybe, they'll pop. Oh my gosh, yes, that looks so much better. In fact, it looks so much better. I think I'm going to outline everything that I want to pop. This might take a minute. also want to outline all of these copper doodles, but first I need to go over them with the copper because it looks like I slung a lot of that rich espresso on there when I was making my crazy lines. Anyway, so I'm going to go over those with that copper, and then I'm going to come back and outline those too, and maybe they'll pop. Okay, this is looking so much better, but I still think it just needs something. Sometimes, when in doubt, I say reach for the glitter. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry completely, and then I will come back and seal it with some high shine sealer from Mod Podge. Oh no, you guys, as I was shutting down the art room and cleaning up my mess, I was watching this glitter dry, and it really is starting to show that pink and blue color, and it just looks crazy. So I'm gonna do something I never thought I would say or do. I need to remove that glitter. In order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and remove all of my guidelines, and then I'm going to get out this little acrylic toothpick thingy, and I am going to try to scrape this glitter off. Y'all know this hurts my heart, right? But it just didn't go with this project. I'm thinking I loved it when I did it. Maybe it was that white color. So let me think on how to fix this. Okay, fortunately, this glitter is coming off, and I'm starting to think that the only reason why I liked it was because it went on white. So I'm going to grab that Arteza heavy-bodied white pearl. I'm picking this because it seems to hold its shape and kind of give a 3D type dot, and I'm hoping that's going to cover that mess underneath. Oh my gosh, I am loving this so much that, of course, here I go again. I am taking this white pearl all over this little canvas. Y'all, I just can't stop. I've got an illness, a top dot disease. Anyway, I'm going to top dot like crazy, and then we're going to let it dry for a long time because there's a lot of paint on here, and then I will seal it. Oh my gosh, you guys, I think I love it. I don't think I have ever worked so very hard to bring a mandala back to good. I love it now. I know my white dots are a little bit bloopy, but that's okay. Here's a full recap of all the supplies I used. Don't forget, I left links down below so that you can go and get a copy of my mandala brainstorm, the DIY stencil, and that design sheet if you need it. Everything you need is down there. Links you can just click and go and find what you need. So many of you have asked how to design a mandala, and this process is probably the best. You just start out with that design creation, and then you just try to plug it all in there, and then you fill in the spaces. If I was to plan one out, this is exactly how I would do it. All right, y'all, let's get to that final reveal and see what it looks like. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love it. I cannot believe I was literally about to give up on this when I saw that glitter dry and I thought, oh no, this is awful. I am so proud I stayed up late that night to do this. You guys, I want to give a great big shout out and a huge thank you to Kathleen for picking some colors to get me started. Sometimes I need a little help too, and the inspiration is always appreciated. All right, y'all go check out channel memberships. There are loads of perks that I'm throwing out there for everybody. I'm hoping I make it worth your while. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Share my videos with someone you think will watch them. That would mean the world to me. Here's a whole bunch of videos to share right here. Until next time, rock on.